We always talk about Dungeon Master tips, how to run a better game, the thing, the magic bullet, that thing that'll immerse everyone. Today I'm actually talking about 5 things that we don't talk about very often in D&D, but we should be talking about more often. So what are those 5 things? The 5 unknown, unspoken, unknown things of Dungeons & Dragons? Well, you know me. We're just going to get right on into it. So the first thing that we should talk about as a Dungeon Master is leveraging all 5 senses. Now, we're talking about leveraging the sight sense, right? Now, here's this thing. As a DM, yes, I can describe things, but if we're in a dark cavern, if you have dimmable lights, you can also dim your lights down. Remember, the ambiance of your room feels just as good as describing it. The same thing goes with sound, right? If you have a boombox and it's raining outside, put on the sounds of rain. With the internet right here handy, like you can't see my laptop right here, we can do those things to engage the sense of sound. Now, if you can't do that, you can still describe it. You can describe the pitter-patter of the light rain on the roof of the inn, the wind slowly blowing through, breezing, right? You can use those verbiage. You can bring even your tone down to bring the tranquil nature of the forest, or the burning, ripping fire as it blisters through the inn, you trying to get away from it. You can change that. So not only are we using sound of how things sound, we're changing the way that we speak as well. So that's 2. What about touch? Describing things, right? But also, if you have an AC unit, if you have a fan, if the wind is blowing, you can bring that touch in there as well. So now we've got sight, we've got sound, we've got touch. What about smell? If you're having a campfire, there are candles that you can light that have all sorts of different sounds. That's really cool to do as well. Touch could be a little bit harder. So we've got sight, we've got sound, we've got touch, we've got smell, and we also have taste. You can describe the way things taste, the bitterness in the air, the taste of iron I'm bad at taste. I barely taste anything. I over-season my food, but give it a shot. That's one of the reasons why I don't ever talk about it. But bottom line is you can utilize taste, especially when it comes to salt and to sweet. When you're near the ocean, yes, it smells salty, but what about the taste of the salt in your air as the moisture hits your face from the mist coming from the ocean? We just hit a bunch of sounds. We hit a bunch of sounds, hit a bunch of senses on there. So yeah, remember, use all 5 senses to the best of your ability. We're better at visual, sound, touch than any of the others. If you can nail smell and taste, you'll be doing even better. Those are the hardest, but can actually sometimes make the biggest impact. Keep it in mind. So we talk all the time about how to build good NPCs, engaging NPCs, but build NPCs to mirror your players. Remember, your players aren't just the characters. Your players are at the table, the people that are sitting there. So you can have NPCs mirror them. Players like people like them. This is a psychological thing that if I mirror someone, I mirror someone's behavior, they tend to be more likable. So the gruff barbarian may like a gruff smith. Those two will get along. By having NPCs that mirror the different players, those players can be liked by those players. Now, at the same time, it may create conflict. The bottom line is when you have an NPC mirror the player that's engaging them, you can create a dynamic that will then be defined by how that player interacts with that NPC. In addition, when an NPC is similar to a player's actions in the game, they will tend to engage with them more likely. Now, this doesn't work all the time, but it's a little bitty tip that you can use to give the players a reason to engage with someone. Maybe you have a player that's meek, that's unspoken, and you've got a character that's meek and unspoken and shies away from the gruff barbarian and chooses not to engage with the party, and the party sees that and goes, hey, maybe you should talk to them. The players and party will notice these things and actually start to engage with that. We do this in real life. So keep it in mind. You can use the NPCs to mirror the player's behavior as well, creating some very dynamic engagements from a role-playing standpoint. A little bitty unwritten tool that works very well. You can pace combat by using a dynamic environment. So combat always seems to be a struggle for a lot of us. Combat can be sometimes a difficult thing for us as dungeon masters to pace properly. By utilizing a dynamic environment, we can actually kind of create some pretty amazing things. By having a rushing river with rafts on top of it, the rafts are moving quickly, that natural dynamic, that intensity brings it up. If we have something where we want to slow combat down, we can have wide open fields and people taking cover. We can use an environment both to speed up and slow down combat depending on the dynamic nature of it. Fog rolls in, causing the vision between the two groups to be obscured, meaning you can no longer see the enemy. The enemy doesn't have to approach. They can take cover as well, giving a pause to that combat. If the party is losing, you can use combat to give an environment, to give the players an advantage, to allow them to a chance to escape. It's not Deus Ex Machina, but the environment now gives the players, they can feel like, I can't believe that fog moved in. They didn't have to run. They didn't have to take cover. So remember, just because the environment is dynamic, you as the Dungeon Master can throw things in there to help with the pacing and help the players out, especially new players. It's one thing to have an unknown PC swoop in and save the day, but it's another thing to have fog roll in during combat that all of a sudden blocks the views, giving the players a chance to escape. Those are things that you can do where the environment being dynamic allows for you to control the pace and feature of the combat. So keep that in mind. Environment, both weather, physical, earthquakes, rock slides, rain, snow, sleet, sandstorm, all of those things can come out of nowhere within moments. Use that and it will make your combat that much better, both from an intensity and from a saving their butts, as well as sometimes giving your bad guys a little advantage when they're getting wiped out. Use weather, use the dynamic environment to help with that. Plan for player agency, not just plot. This was called railroading for a long time. That's not what I'm talking about here. When you are planning for player agency, meaning thinking about what the players want to do, and I say players, not characters, because sometimes the players will want to do different things than what their character should. If you plan for just character backstory and haven't taken into account that that player doesn't care about their player's backstory, well, then you're going to plan for some things that's not going to happen. So keep that in mind. What I want you to do is engage the players, not the characters, the players, and what their goals are, what their aspirations are, what they're trying to accomplish from session to campaign. And when you plan for that, you can create amazing stories, amazing abilities, amazing things, and grow the campaign. It can be encounters, it can be stories, it can be plot lines based upon what the players want. Now, you can still tell an overarching story. You can still have the evil king that's suppressing the kingdom that's doing this kind of stuff. And the players can say, well, what we want to do is become rich and famous. And then all of a sudden, they start having to pay taxes and levies to the king. And the king starts finding out what they're doing and starts putting pressure on them. Well, the player agency, you're focusing on that, but the story is still happening. Just because something happens outside the player's purview does not remove their agency. In fact, that can become an amazing story. But what if the players' their desire for gold and riches coincides with the king and they become not bad guys, but living in a society and basically utilizing that evil king to further their goals and realize that all the pain and suffering they've caused and decide to turn into being a good guys again? Or maybe they truly go off and you have yourself an evil campaign. If you plan for player agency, you allow for those things to happen. So guys, that is 5 interesting things that usually don't get talked about too much. We're not talking about railroading and we're not talking about what is player agency. We're talking about small itty bitty tools that you can use just for better storytelling and better gameplay and better game mechanics. So as always, guys, thank you very much. Stick around for that little episode at the very end where we're going to be sharing with you a brand new fire guy at the end from our new book, Fire Incursions. As always, you can join our Patreon where we have the Hero Soul coming out, a new role-playing game, as well as we have the Fire Incursions book on the Guildmasters Guides website where those can be pre-purchased as well. So thank you. And if you can't support us that way or you want to support us, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, share this video, help us spread the word and get it out there. And as always, guys, we'll see you, as always, next time.